Welcome to the working office and the home of the President of the United States, the White House. Located on the now famous 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the White House has been the seat of the presidential family for more than 200 years and has become a symbol of the United States and its ruling government. The history of the White House dates back to 1790, when George Washington signed the Residence Act of 1790, which placed the government of the United States in Washington, D.C. With this, a new residence for the president had to be built. A design competition was arranged, which was won by an Irish-born architect named James Holborn, who beat the other 8 competitors with his practical and handsome design. Being a true Irishman, Holborn's design was inspired by the Leinster House in Dublin, which later became the seat of the Irish Parliament. Washington himself wasn't, however, totally satisfied with Holborn's plans. Washington thought that the building was too small to be home for the head of the new nation. In reaction to this, Holborn enlarged the building by 30%. The foundation stone of the White House was laid in 1792, and the first residents, the second U.S. President, John Adams with family, moved in 8 years later. The White House has been the home for the U.S. President ever since. When the third President, Thomas Jefferson, moved into the house in 1801, he had the house expanded outwards by creating 2 colonnades which were meant to serve as stables and storage. Today, these colonnades connect the west and the east wing with the main residential buildings. Rumors have it that Jefferson, also being a skilled architect, was one of the other 8 architects who were beaten by Holborn for the main design of the White House. During the War of 1812 against the British, the White House was set on fire by the British after a successful attack on Washington, D.C. The fire destroyed much of the interior and damaged the exterior. The restoration project became a question of national pride, and the building was quickly repaired and began to serve its purpose once again in 1817. As the White House was by then open to the general public, crowding within the executive residence itself became a problem during the late 19th century. To solve this, the First Lady Caroline Harrison proposed extensions to the White House, including a national wing on the east for an historical art gallery and a wing on the west for official functions. With the addition of the classical Oval Office a few years later, the West Wing became the official office building for the President and his staff. The East Wing of today was built during the Second World War in order to hide the construction of an underground bunker to be used in emergency situations. Throughout the history, the White House has been the subject of several smaller renovation projects, and fire in the West Wing in 1929 caused further needs for repairs. All the restoration projects and expansions of the White House took its toll on the original building's wooden frame. This forced a major renovation in the mid-20th century, known as the Truman renovation, where almost all of the interior was renovated and the wooden frame was replaced with a reinforced steel frame. As a means of preserving the history of the White House, no substantial architectural changes have been made on the main house since the Truman renovation. Every presidential family has made some changes to their private quarters of the White House, but changes to the staterooms must all be approved by a special committee. Today, the White House is a complex of buildings, including the executive residence, the home of the presidential family. Connected to the main building by the western colonnade is the West Wing, the location of the Oval Office, and the official office building. On the other side we have the East Wing, which includes the office of the First Lady and White House Social Secretary. The East Wing also holds the bunker, known as the Presidential Emergency Operations Center. The complex is massive. It is made up of 6 stories: the ground floor, state floor, second floor, and third floor, as well as a 2-story basement. The building complex covers 5,100 square meters and has a total of 132 rooms. There is also plenty of opportunities for leisure activities within the White House, including a tennis court, jogging tracks, a swimming pool, a movie theater, and a bowling lane. The White House is probably one of the most famous of all US structures. In 2007, it was ranked second on the list of America's favorite architecture, a testament to the popularity of the building.